As you may know, there is a war in Ukraine. There was Russia. Russia has a lot of nuclear weapons, which means they have a lot of nuclear power. In this episode, we'll talk about what nuclear weapons are, what is a tactical weapon, what was the nuclear arms race, and how it was connected to the Cold War, the New START Treaty, what it is and how it was happened to it in February, and the threats about nuclear weapons. We're your hosts, Ella
And Wyatt.
But to start with what a nuclear weapon is, over to you, Wyatt.
You may be wondering, what is a nuclear weapon and what makes it so powerful? A nuclear weapon has a conventional explosive in it. When that explosive goes off, it pushes two halves of a uranium sphere together. When this happens, a neutron slams into an atomic nucleus, which breaks apart and releases energy. When the nucleus splits, more neutrons come out, which can cause a chain reaction. Therefore, it causes the explosion. There is a type of nuclear weapon that you may not know about, so I will let Ella explain it. Take it away. This is the explosion. There is a
You already know what a normal nuclear weapon is, but what is a technical nuclear weapon? Technical nuclear weapons are delivery systems and small warheads intended for use on the battlefield or for a limited strike. Vladimir Putin has threatened to use one of these on Ukraine. If the country is threatened, we will, without a doubt, use all integrity means to protect Russia and our people. This is not a bluff, Putin said. Russia has about 2,000 technical nuclear weapons they can use if they wanted to. Russia would rather use these missiles, but Russia isn't the only one with nuclear power. So does NATO, in particular the US. And during the Cold War, these two countries had a race, the nuclear arms race. Wyatt will explain this race. Here you are.
The Cold War was a time where Russia and the US were creating lots of nukes. The two sides didn't like each other because of their different views. US capitalism, USSR communism. When Soviet Russia successfully tested their first nuke, the world was shocked. Both sides began creating more nukes in fear of all-out war. They both spent billions and billions of dollars trying to build up huge stockpiles of nuclear weapons. Near the end of the Cold War, the Soviet Union was spending around 27% of its total gross national product on the military. This was crippling to their economy and helped bring an end to the Cold War. This cost is the main reason why the USSR disbanded in 1991. There was a recent treaty that Russia and the US have signed, but I'm going to let Ella explain that. More on that.
I'm going to talk about what the new treaty was. The new treaty was a treaty between the Russia and the US during 2011. They had agreements to limit the number of nuclear weapons they used. Another part of it was sharing when they made nuclear weapons and their plans for using them. But in February 2023, Vladimir Putin said that Russia's participation would come to a halt. They, the West, can't be silly people. They want to deliver us a strategical defeat while crawling into our strategic nuclear objectives. Regarding this, I have to say that Russia suspends its participation in the New START Treaty, he said. For now, Russia still supervises some of the rules. Are the nuclear weapons real? Well, I'll talk more on that.
Nuclear weapons threats are scary because of how powerful these weapons are. Today we're going to talk about if these threats are legit. Not everyone agrees that they are real, but most people think they are. For example, Grigory Yavlinsky, the founder of a political party opposite to Putin, is calling for a ceasefire on the war. Grigory believes that these threats are real, and that's why he's calling for the ceasefire. It's a real threat. The kind of weapon this that kind of weapon is such a serious thing that it's not just words. This is a real factor. What you have to take into consideration in the current situation. That's it, Grigory said. He believed a ceasefire must happen before thousands of people are killed. So yes, these threats are most likely real, which is very dangerous. That's why a ceasefire needs to happen.
We've covered the topics of nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, the nuclear arms race, the nuclear treaty, and threats on nuclear weapons. Thank you to the sources we used: Arvin Ash, Reuters.com, BBC, Newsweek, and The Guardian. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Once again, we're your hosts, Ella.
And Wyatt.
So goodbye until next time.